do it. And welcome into Frickers on Wednesday night. It's the Eagle 99 High School Football Coaches Show live from the Fremont Frickers. We're talking Week 7 football and preparation for Week 8. My name is Nick Roth. Alongside me right now is John Kearns. John's going to join us for the first segment of the show. We're going to talk about playoffs. Talking about playoffs? Old Jim Moore. You didn't understand that reference. And that
Yeah. I remember that now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jim Moore, was he the Saints coach or something?
The Colts coach at the time.
The Colts, you know, and they asked about playoffs, and yeah, that's kind of a famous clip. So I didn't catch that at first, but I mean, I'm just getting used to summer practice, and here it is. This is actually coming up as week number 8.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
8,
crazy.
9, and 10. 3 more games.
It's flown by. Yeah, I can't believe it. I talked with Kyle, who I broadcast with on Friday nights, and we just can't believe how fast it's gone. But we're here in Week 7 of the High School Football Coaches Show. Actually, I think it's Week 8 for us.
Well, we've gone through 7 weeks, and
because
we did
a preview, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, I want to remind you that Frickers, it is $9.99 steak night tonight. Bring the kids on down. Kids always eat free here at Frickers. You can bring the kids on down, get yourself a steak dinner, side salad, roll, and drink, all for $9.99. Thank you to Frickers for letting us host the Eagle 99 Coaches Show here every week during football and basketball season. And I also like to say a huge shout out to our board op back at the station, Aiden Klein. Thank you so much, Aiden, for controlling us back at our Fremont Central Hub. And, of course, big thank you. You can watch us live on YouTube. Thank you to Josh Frederick, who's the man behind the computer tonight. He has been all year. He's taken our coaches show from bare bones live stream all the way up to this fancy thing that it is now. And to get to that live stream, all you got to do is search Eagle 99 WFRO on YouTube, or you can go to our Facebook page on Eagle 99 and press on the link, and it'll direct you right over here. Of course, we're also live on 99.1 FM and WFROradio.com. Well, John Kearns, before we get into the playoff picture, and I know it's crazy we're even talking playoffs. Like you said, it sounds like, or it feels like the year just started and now we're in October. But before we get into the playoff picture for some area teams, let's look over the schedule for Eagle 99 and our 92.1 The Wolf, our sister station, coming up this weekend. Tomorrow, the Ryan Day Show on our sister station, 92.1 The Wolf, 7 to 8 p.m. And then on Friday is our high school football. Eagle 99 will have Ross at Springfield. John, you'll be there covering that game. 6:30 pregame, 7 o'clock kickoff. Scott Logan will be your color commentator for that one. And then Kyle Knight and I will be on 92.1 The Wolf. We'll bring you Sandusky at Clyde. We're going to talk with Ryan Carter later tonight about his huge win over Edison last week, I should say. And that'll be a great one. 6:30 pregame, 7 o'clock kickoff for that. On Saturday, you have your college football fix. Toledo at Bowling Green. Football, 11 o'clock pregame, 12 o'clock kickoff. And on the Wolf, Ohio State at Illinois, 10:30 pregame and 12 o'clock kickoff for that one as well. And that is your look at our schedule for this weekend. Well, John, as I said, we're already getting into Week 8. We've had some surprising games so far. We've had some blowout games. We've had some really close games. And all in all, it's been a really exciting season for area teams.
Yeah, it has been. Some big games coming up for Fremont Ross, because I had the game last week at Sylvania Southview. That was a tough game. You know, Southview's only won one game all year, but they were pretty tough. You know, they had some good skilled players, and Ross won the ball game 21-13, but it was pretty close. Southview got the ball down to the Ross 22-yard line with seconds to play, and couldn't get off a play at the end, and Ross holds on and wins. But I was talking to Chad Long, well, actually via email or text, and I told him, I said, hey, you guys had 11 sacks last Friday night. He's going to check to see if that was a school record.
Yeah, it's got to be close.
That's a lot of sacks that they administered on Southview.
Some teams only getting that the whole year.
Yeah, for sure. So I had 11 sacks, and that helped them for sure. Their defense played well. So another big ball game. Ross, looking to win out this week is going to be tough. Another road game at Springfield, and again, they're going to be similar to Southview, where their record's not indicative of how good a team they are. Not looking ahead, but Napoleon's going to be the big one, and it's possible that Fremont Ross will have to beat Napoleon in week number 9 to make the playoffs. We'll have to wait and see, but that'll be a home game, and but they want to concentrate on Springfield for this week.
Yeah, you talk to Chad Long. He's always going to tell you, I don't look at next week,
yeah.
and it's always the opponent we have in front of us. So right now he's focusing on Springfield, but like you said, that Ross game will be very telling. It's a really, really big game as far as playoff implications are concerned. But I got to tell you about that game on Friday night. I heard it was a flag fest, and
Yeah, lots of flags.
I know that it was, and I know how bad it was because I had finished up my game with Kyle on the Wolf. We finished up the Clyde game, and I was able to jump in the car and tune it over to the Eagle and hear the very end of the Ross game. And you were calling that game, of course, and I know you're very impartial play-by-play guy. You don't like to favor teams, and you certainly don't like to jump on referees for their mistakes or a plethora of flags or what have you. But even you on Friday night, I heard you say, boy, I don't like to jump on officials, but this one's getting a little out of hand here.
This because of the amount of the number of flags, quite a few for both teams. But it's in the past. Ross won the ball game, and they look forward. Maybe they'll have very few flags this week when they play at Springfield. So be a big ball game on Friday night. So if you're a Ross fan, it's really easy to get to. Just hop up to Perrysburg, go on 75 for a short distance, hop on 475 up to Airport Highway, and about a mile to the west is Springfield High School. So it's really easy to get to, and they have a nice stadium, and should be a good ball game.
Yeah. Well, John, we talked a lot about Ross, but we talked before that about how we're going to talk about the playoff picture. You printed out some stuff today. You did your research. John's our old historian when it comes to high school sports. He's great at basketball and football alike of gathering information and knowing the history of certain schools. So when he said, hey, I'm going to drop by and do a segment with you, I knew I was covered. So let's take a look at the playoff pictures for some area teams.
And before we talk about teams, if you haven't heard, most people have heard, but in case you didn't hear, they're changing the format for the playoffs this year. Last few years, it was the top 16 teams in each region that made the playoffs, and 16 would go to 1, 15 would go to 2, and a lot of blowouts. So they said, okay, too many teams are making the playoffs, so what they did, they narrowed that number down to 12. And in addition, if you finish in the top 4 in your region, you get a first-round bye. So it's like a little bonus that you don't have to play that. You can don't have to play that first week, and you can rest up a little bit. So after that, 12 will play 5, 11, 6, 10, 7, and 9, 8. So there'll be those games, and then the top 4 will play those winners, et cetera. And another thing, too, is for the first 3 weeks of the playoffs, whoever has the highest seed will have a home game. So it used to be just the first week, and then last few years the second week. It was also, you had a home game. Now this year, the first 3 weeks, the highest seed gets a home game.
Yeah, that's insane that the highest seed gets a home game every 3 weeks. But isn't the first one a bye? If you're a top 4, it's a bye, and then the next 2 are home?
Well, that is true, but I'm talking about the other seeds, like when they play, like if 12 plays 5, 11 plays 6, 10 plays 7, 9 plays 8, the higher seed gets the home game.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see.
So if you finish number 5 and keep winning, then you would get a home game 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying.
Depends on who you play.
Yeah.
Depends on who you play. So.
And I think that's a good change. They're making it a little more competitive. Only one time did it happen that a 16 seed beat a 1 seed in the 16 seed playoff region. Actually, it was the old Bellevue Redmen that were the 1 seed, and the Addison Chargers knocked them off. That was back in 2020. But other than that, there was a lot of blowout games, a lot of teams traveling 2-3 hours just to get beat by 50 points. So the OHSA decided to make a change this year and make more competitive playoff games. I think this format is going to be more exciting and more competitive.
So you're shooting for the top 12. So in Northwest Ohio, real quick, Division One, Region One, Perrysburg's number 4, Whitmer's number 5. So they're shooting to get a home game in a first round bye. In Division 1, Region 2, Findlay's number 3. And Fremont knows those 3 teams very well.
Yeah. Well, they played them all back to back to back.
That's
correct?
right, 3 weeks in a row. So Division 2, Region 6, Fremont Ross is 14th. The team they're playing this week, Springfield, is 18th. Sandusky is number 25. They're pretty much out of it, but they have a chance to maybe make an upset. They play at Clyde, the game you'll have, and they want to go on the road and beat Clyde. In Division 3, Region 10, Columbian, Tiffin Columbian, number 14. Norwalk is 17th. In Division 4, Region 14, Napoleon, a team that is in the NOL with Fremont Ross, number 4. Vermilion's number 8. Perkins number 9, and Bellevue's number 11. Clyde's number 12. So if everything were to stay the same, all those teams would make the playoffs.
Yeah, that's crazy to think, especially with Clyde making the playoffs if the season were to end right now, because they were at last week they were at number 19, I think. In the
they got a lot of points by beating Edison.
And beating Edison. So we'll talk with Ryan Carter about that coming up, and I'm sure his answer will be, well, we don't look at the playoffs right now, but we do. So we do. So,
all right, Region 18, that's Division 5. A lot of area teams. Okay, there's a lot of area teams in Division 5, 18. Number 2 ranked is Genoa. Edison's number 5. Okay, Eastwood number 7. Oak Harbor number 9. Port Clinton is number 12. So again, all those teams would make it if it stayed the same. In Division 6, Region 22, Hopewell Loudon and Margaretta are 1 and 2, and those 2 teams played last week with Margaretta winning by a few points. Seneca East is 8th, Woodmore is 9th, and Lakota is 13th. Okay, and Huron's number 15. And in the small schools, Division 7, Region 25, a couple teams you're very familiar with. Number 5 is Monroeville, and number 9 is your alma mater, Norwalk St. Paul. So as of right now, they're going to make playoffs.
Yeah, and that Monroeville St. Paul matchup always a Week 10 matchup, and a lot of times this is why they're such big rivals. Not only because they're so close, because a lot of times there are playoff implications on the line. So that'll be another one to watch out for when we get down to the nitty gritty.
And one more region, that's Division 7, Region 26, Gibsonburg number 4. And if that stays there, if they stay at number 4 or above, they'll get a first-round bye. Mohawk is 6, and Calvert is number 8. So those are the area schools with the best chance to make the playoffs coming up. But more importantly, there's 3 more weeks of the regular season. So.
Yeah, there's 3 more weeks of the regular season and a lot more fun to be had in the regular season for all the area teams here this 2025 football season.
And if we have 1 more minute, I think we do.
We do. We got.
Okay. Real quick, I'm always looking at the Associated Press poll. And just real quick, Division 1, number 1 team is Cincinnati Elder. In our area, Whitmer's 11th in the state and Perrysburg 15th. This is the AP poll. Division 2, Cincinnati Anderson's number 1. Ashland's number 11. Division 3, Columbus Bishop Watterson is number 1. Fiddle Central Catholic's 8th. Division 4, number 1 team in the state, the Shelby Whippets. How about that?
They're good, and their quarterback DeVito is having a heck of a year this year. They're poised for state championship this year, I think.
There you go. Number 10 is Galleon. Number 14, Perkins. And, Perkins is on the border there making the playoffs.
Yeah.
And Napoleon's number 19. No, these are the AP numbers, not the region numbers. But these teams are still going. Division 5, Liberty Center, they never lose hardly at all.
Nope.
Maybe toward the end of the playoffs, but they're number 1 in the state. Liberty Benton, who's coming into the league next year in the NLL, number 4 in the state. Genoa is 9th. Eastwood 14th. Edison 15th. Oak Harbor is 19th. And Division 6, Kirtland is number 1. Hopewell Loudon 4th. Colonel Crawford 5th. And Margaretta 9th. And Division 7 in the AP poll, Marion Local. They've won, 70-some games in a row?
Yeah, that's the longest streak in the country.
Yeah. They're number 1. Of course, 12th is Mohawk, 17th Monroeville, 19th is Gibsonburg. And there you go.
All right, thank you so much to John Kearns for joining me talking playoff football. When we come back, we'll talk Lakota Raider football with head coach Ryan Lozier. Stick right here. You're listening to the Eagle 99 High School Football Coaches Show, live on Eagle 99.1 FM, WFROradio.com, and, of course, on YouTube. Thanks, John. Appreciate it. Yeah. You going to stick around, or are you going on? I get paid anyway. Good to see you, Ryan.
Make the lights maybe look even worse. I'm just kidding. I don't even know.
What's that? Welcome back into Frickers here in Fremont. $9.99 steak night. Get yourself a steak, dinner roll, a side salad, and drink all for $9.99. And of course, kids eat free. It's the Coaches Show here on Wednesday night. And joining me now is head coach Ryan Lozier of the Lakota Raiders. We're talking Lakota football. Coach, thanks for being with me here tonight. And in your last game, you faced the Willard Flashes at home, and you took care of business 42-12. How good did it feel? You were coming off of 3 losses, 3 bad losses, I should say.
Yeah.
I mean, 20 points total in the 3 games before that, and then you go off for 42. Had to feel good. What did you like out of your team? What did you execute correctly to get the win on Friday night?
Well, I think we played okay offensively. I was happy with our performance in the second half. We stopped ourselves a few times there in the first half. Probably should have had a couple more scores, but we challenged them at halftime to come out and kind of put the foot on the gas there and kind of take the game a little bit. And I thought we did. Our guys are playing at a high level. We just gotta continue to try to keep it rolling here the next couple weeks.
Well, yeah, if you do keep it rolling here in the next couple weeks, there's no reason why you wouldn't make the playoffs. Right now, you're kind of sitting on the bubble. You're 13th in Division 6, Region 22. But you play some tough opponents coming up. You got Gibsonburg, Margaretta, and then Northwood. So if you win at least 1, maybe 2 of those games, you should be getting into the playoffs. But let's keep on your game with Willard here a little bit. You said you struggled offensively a little bit, shot yourselves in the foot. Well, that defense showed up, only giving up 12 points. What did they do right on Friday night?
Oh, you got to cover the pass with them, and we have to keep their quarterback contained. And I thought our guys did a good job of that. Actually, our offense was on the field for most of the first half anyway. I think we ran like 65 plays total on the night.
Wow.
I think our defense only ran like, I want to say 13 in the first half or something like that, but-
Oh,
which helps.
Yeah,
and that's
sure
our
does.
goal. It's going to be our goal this week. It's going to be our goal next week and every other week. The less they have the football, the less they can score.
exactly.
But our defense, I thought, played well again. And again, I think just credit our offense too is just holding on to the football, getting as Coach Joe always says, 4 yards a carry or 4 yards a pass, whatever you got to do just to continually move the ball down the field. And like you said, stop hurting ourselves. I thought we got better at last week, but we still got to clean up some things to, like you said, beat a couple good football teams coming down the stretch.
Well, You brought up an interesting point. You said that your offense is on the field for 65 total plays, which is crazy. So your game plan, you said this week the same thing, ball control, time of possession control. How are you guys able to get that done so much?
Well, it's gonna start up front for our guys if we're gonna be able to do that or not. You know, you can't go 3 and out and keep the ball, obviously. So it's gonna come down to if our guys up front can create those 4-yard plays and you know continually eat up at that clock a little bit. You know, I think it's what you got to do when you face good teams, as in the few we're gonna play here in the next couple 3 weeks. You know, you want to keep the ball out of their hands. You know, kids like Grant Smith and Judah Keller and guys like that. You know, the less they have the ball in their hands, the better off you're going to be. So we're looking forward to the challenge and really winning the battle up front. It's going to be the key. If we can, we'll be okay. If not, we might be in for a long night. So we're going to find out one way or the other.
Are you confident in the offensive and defensive line? Because as you said, the game is won and lost right up there. Are you confident that they'll be able to get those holes open up for you so you can get maybe 2, 3, 4 yards a carry?
Yeah, I am. I might be the one going into a game. I'm always confident. I'm going to think I'm going to beat Goliath. It is what it is. If you're not thinking you're gonna win walking into it, you're beat.
Right.
So I do though. If our kids do as they're coached and what they're able to do, I think our kids can give ourselves a shot. It's when we hurt ourselves or miss our blocks or and sometimes you're gonna do that because the other team, like you said, are gonna be pretty good. But if we can consistently play at a high level, we have some guys that can play. We just gotta kind of put it all together here quick.
Well, let's talk about some of those guys that can play really quick. You know, Lakota, you're a running team. You have to be if you want to control that clock. And let's talk about big running back number 4, Nate Grigson. He's got over 500 yards on the season so far. He's sitting at 542 yards rushing, 73 attempts on the season. He averages almost 8 yards a carry, 77 yards a game. What does he bring to the table that really helps you guys dominate on the ground?
Nate's a tough physical kid. I think he has speed that can go with that. He breaks some tackles that you're not sure how he got out of, but we challenged him this week. I actually went up and told him the other day, if we're gonna win Friday night, he's gonna have to run the ball harder than he's ran all year, and he's gonna have to be where he needs to be defensively more than he has all year if we're gonna win. So we're gonna put a little bit of pressure on him and see if he can get us there. I have faith in that he can, but he's got to be able to do it at a high level for 4 quarters and to give our team a chance.
Well, there's no doubt that the Gibsonburg Bear defense will be keying in on Nate. So that might give the opportunity for some other guys to step up. And so far this season, there have been a few that have stepped up. Jalen Wagner has 300 yards rushing on the season, and A.J. Goshi has 317 yards on the season. So do you expect them? I'm sure you have full confidence in their ability to step up if Nate finds himself getting swallowed up.
Yeah, we have multiple guys we think we can give the ball to. It's just going to be a game plan thing and what the defense gives us and what's working well for us at the time. It makes it nice when you can give guys the ball in different spots. But no matter who the ball's going to Friday night, they're going to have to get the job done, and that's the expectation, and they know that.
Well, you're facing Goliath is a tough word, but you said you kind of feel like David a lot during some of these weeks of the season. Needless to say, you're facing a very good team in Gibsonburg on Friday, and you told me what you guys need to do on offense to get the job done. What do you guys need to key in on defensively to make sure Gibsonburg doesn't get the ball in the end zone?
Well, it's pretty easy. You got to know where the Smith kid is at all times. He's a hard downhill runner that we got to tackle. We got to gang tackle. We got to have many guys on him, and off of that they got the Morant kid and the Nims, and oftentimes people forget about Reese Walby.
Yeah,
he's a very good athlete. So
very, very good.
They got some weapons over there that we got to be ready to roll for. I have a lot. I have the utmost confidence in our defensive staff that our kids will be ready to roll, and our plan's going to be good. Can we go and execute that plan? We're going to find out, and I got faith in our kids can do that. And we're going to give it our best shot.
Well, you always got to look at the Smith kid. That's been the motto for the game plan against Gibsonburg for about the past 8 years now.
Kidding.
Watch out for the Smith kid. But you said earlier that you guys run the ball a lot. You got to key in on Gibsonburg's run game. So 2 run-heavy teams. I know Gibsonburg runs the wing T. Do you guys run the wing T as well?
Oh yeah, I'd call it. We're in the shotgun.
Shotgun,
though.
though. Well, it's 2 run-heavy teams. Do you find that that's an advantage for your defense? I mean, both defenses that you both practice and game plan every week as a running team, that you have more experience playing against the run every week during practice?
Oh, I do. And I say that because, you look at planning for Willard last week. There was a lot of 5 wide stuff. We haven't seen that this year,
Yeah.
so it's a little bit harder to get our kids in that area of thinking, to stop the pass, consider the run. It definitely helps. I have a wing tee when you got those guys with you, both sides of the ball. So, again, our guys are going to be in the right spots. We're going to see if we can make the plays.
Joe Wyan might be the wing tee creator.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
is.
I
I
mean,
tried to get him to come on tonight. He wouldn't do it.
He won't do it?
He wouldn't do it, man.
No, that's all right. He's done more of these than either you or I could ever dream of
That's
doing.
what he told me, too. So,
Again, talking with head coach of the Lakota Raiders, Ryan Lozier. Ryan, thank you so much for joining me here tonight. They play Gibsonburg on Friday. Gibsonburg is at 5-2. Lakota sitting at 4-3. And you told me some of the keys to the win on defense, some keys to the win on offense. I do have a question for you, and I know you don't want to give too much away before the game on Friday, but can we see a little bit more passing through the air this year? This game against Gibsonburg, as you know, they're going to be keying on the run. Are we going to see Wagner take to the air a little bit more this week?
well, it's a game plan thing on Friday night.
Yeah.
So, they have a good front 7, but their secondary is good, too. So, we're going to find some ways that work for us, and whether it's run or pass, we're going to find out Friday night what works for us and what gives ourselves the best chance to win.
Well, we wish you the best of luck, Coach, and thank you so much
appreciate
for
it.
being with me here tonight. That's head coach Ryan Lozier of the Lakota Raiders. Again, they are 4-3, sitting 13th in Division 6, Region 22. We're at Frickers here tonight. It is $9.99 steak night. Get yourself a steak, dinner, side salad, and roll, all for $9.99. Thank you to Frickers for letting us join. Oh, by the way, kids always eat free. Coming back, we will talk with, hold on one second, I dropped my papers over here. I believe, yes, we'll be talking with head coach Ryan Carter of the Clyde Flyers about their big win last week over the Edison Chargers and another big game this week coming up against the Sandusky Blue Streaks. Stick around here on Eagle 99.1 FM, WFROradio.com, and live on YouTube. This is the Frickers High School Football Coaches Show on Eagle 99 WFRO. My name is Nick Roth, and it is the High School Football Coaches Show, talking about Week 7 and previewing into Week 8 live from Frickers. Reminder: it's $9.99 steak night. Get yourself a steak dinner roll, side salad, and drink, all for $9.99. And kids eat free. Join me now, head coach of the Clyde Flyers, Mr. Ryan Carter. Well, Ryan, big win to talk about this past Friday night. Kyle Knight and myself were there. A huge upset win over the Edison Chargers to drop them to 5-2, 27-10 win. So not a close game. You guys dominated in all phases of the game. And I'll tell you what, you looked like the old Clyde on Friday night, and it looked like it all clicked and came together for you.
Well, I give full credit to our kids in the fact of it's been a rough go, coming back on Saturday mornings and Monday afternoons to try to get them back and get them going again. And our kids have been very resilient. They've shown up every single day and did everything we asked. And we've just finally started to figure it out a little bit and figure out what we can and what we can't do. We did not turn the football over, I think, for the first time in a game this year. So I was super proud of our kids for our effort. Now, the secret is, can you duplicate it? Can you go into this week and do that again? We're going to find out. But I was happy for our kids. They did a great job, and just to get that good feeling back in the locker room was something special.
Well, I'm sure it was a great feeling. I'm sure that locker room was insane on Friday night after a win like that. And before we get more into the details of the win, I do want to talk a little bit about this. Now, I'll be the first to admit, I've said on the air, hey, Clyde looks great. It might be too little too late for this season, but I'll tell you what, for next season it looks good. And all of a sudden, Monday morning, I wake up, I look at Joe Idle, and you guys are sitting at 12th in Region 14.
I haven't looked.
Yeah, I know. I knew you were going to say that. I was talking with John in the first segment, and I was like, Coach Carter's going to be like, well, you don't look at the playoffs. But you're sitting at 12th right now. My humble opinion, I don't see why there's any reason you can't run the table for the last 3 weeks and get yourselves into the playoffs. My question was, are you looking at that? Got our answer?
Yep. Honestly, we're not looking at it. We told our kids today. I just talked to our kids today after practice, and I said, guys, listen, we're not going to say the word playoffs around here. We're not doing it. But what we're going to say is, if you guys want to play more football this year, if that's important to you, then we got to start this week. If you turn this week and you say, oh, it's just Sandusky and their record's not very good, and then we're going to be on the outside looking in again after this week. So we understand what's out there. We understand the importance of each week from here on out. But honestly, as cliche-ish as this is, we have to look at one play at a time, one game at a time, playing our best football game to date this week against Sandusky in order to even move on to next week.
Well, you certainly can't overlook Sandusky. They do have a 1-6 record, but they are a Division II team, so they're a big school. They got a lot of talent, and it is a 2-division jump game for you, so it's definitely not a cakewalk by any means. But I don't want to talk about Sandusky yet. I want to talk a little bit more about this Clyde game because it was so sweet of a win. And I want to talk about a kid that we don't talk about very much. We talked about him on Clyde night because he was here as a senior. But a guy that we hadn't seen in the backfield much this season really stepped up in the backfield for you on offense last game. Cole Sangstock did a great job of filling in and doing a great job at running back. And it seems like you're trying to find more ways to get him involved, and putting him in the backfield really worked for you.
Well, honestly, that was the plan for the whole season. Cole was one of the guys that we felt like we were going to split carries with the whole year. And what happened was he did that in week 1 against Bellevue. And then week 2, like play 7 or 8, he severely hurt his ankle. A sprain, break, ligaments, whatever, but was down and out. And he has just started to come back. I told him last week in practice, I said, you are finally starting to look like you are running the football right. You are not hobbling. You're not limping. And we're going to start to try to get you the ball a little bit more. And, Cole is a kid, man, it's tough. It's actually kind of tough for me to talk about Cole because Cole's one of those kids on our football team that does everything the right way. gives you everything he has. If you tell him you're blocking this whole game, he'll do it. If you tell him you're not playing offense this game, you're playing defense. If you told him, hey, these other two kids are better than you on offense and defense, and you only have to play special teams this week, he would honestly look at you and be like, okay, coach, no problem. I'll go out and do whatever you need me to do. And those kind of kids are just invaluable to your football program. And I think it was nice to see Cole come back last week and get some touches and help us out a little bit more on both sides of the ball. And that role is only going to grow as the season goes.
Well, a lot of times those kids can go unnoticed because of all the roles that they play. And we want to let Cole and his family and you, Coach, know that we did notice that.
That's awesome.
On Friday night. We gave him his much-deserved
That's good.
flowers. Let's talk about some of these other kids on the team. I mean, there wasn't, honestly, from what we saw, there wasn't a kid that had a bad game on Friday night. Everyone played fantastic on Friday night.
And honestly, we were down a couple kids with some injuries and some other things going on in our program, but our kids really stepped up, and it has been that way all year. And you saw a couple of our games. We've had to run a barrage of some different kids. Adam Young was hurt there for a couple weeks. So Lincoln Mullins and Hector Garza really ran the ball for us effectively, and they're very good runners. AY came back a little bit in that last week, so Lincoln and Hector didn't run it as much. Played more defense and special teams, but man, guys have stepped up, and that's hard to say when you have the record we have. I get that, but guys have stepped up across the board, and like I said, we've came in and scooped them up off the turf on Friday night and came in on Saturday morning, and our kids have came in and just said, you know what, Coach, we're going to get back at it this week, and we're going to try to be the best version of ourselves this week. We're going to go 1-0 this week, and we'll go from there. And really, at the end of the day, that's what you're aiming for as a coach.
Well, I'll tell you, we're talking with head coach Ryan Carter of the Clyde Flyers, and Kyle and Knight and I, we were at your game on Friday night, and we'll be there again against Sandusky this week. But I'll tell you, we were watching, we've seen Jonathan Lance, and we've seen the speed of Deacon Crockett, and we've seen Hunter Thomas, and all these, in the passing game, these guys that have amazing athleticism. But, sometimes Lance would overthrow a guy. Sometimes Deacon would underrun him.
Yep,
And
just misses.
It was just miss.
Yeah.
You're right. Well, on Friday night it clicked. And it was so nice to see your guys finally. It looked like a Ryan Carter Clyde team that's been seasoned and been there for 3 years.
Yeah, and honestly, you're exactly right. We throughout those first 6-7 games, we were close in some games, and we just had some near misses. And we just had some, we messed up here, we messed up there. We didn't catch a ball here, we didn't throw a ball here right, and it just kind of all fell in place on Friday night. And it was nice to see some of that, some of that luck, I guess, is what you're saying, go your way for a Friday night. And we got that. So I think some luck you create yourself. I think some you have to get. But we're going to try to go back out this Friday. And we got 3 out of our last 4 at home. Counting last week, 3 out of our last 4 at home. We got to go on the road next week to Tiffin, but we have a home game this week with Sandusky, and we're going to have our hands full. I'm telling you right now, we're going to have our hands full. That is a athletic team that's going to give us fits, but our kids are going to go out and battle.
Talking with head coach Ryan Carter of the Clyde Flyers. I don't want you to think that I was alluding that your team was getting lucky last week. I know that it was hard work paying off for you. They beat the Edison Chargers by a final score of 27-10, putting them at 2-5. On this season, looking at the playoff. Right now, if the season ended today, they'd be in the playoffs. Coach, one more comment about Friday's game before we start talking about your game against Sandusky this week. An area that you guys struggled in all season, special teams, mainly kickoff return. You've given up a couple of touchdowns. You guys this past week were fantastic on special teams, hitting the receiver, maybe giving them 10, 15-yard return. And a lot of the names that we called were young guys, underclassmen, sophomores, sometimes freshmen out there making plays.
We have a ton of young kids on special teams. And I know the names you're alluding to. You have Peyton Franks out there, Mason Holden out there, the BB boy who's a freshman out there returning kicks and covering kicks for us. Just that type of play and getting out there and getting that game experience on a Friday night for those young kids is only going to pay off for us in the future. And you're right, we've struggled on special teams, and we've had some deficiencies on special teams, but those kids are working extremely hard and doing what we ask them to do, and that's starting to gel a little bit as well. So we're hoping that we can continue to go forward. We've had a good week of practice, but like I said, this week it presents itself some problems. So we're going to have our hands full.
Well, let's talk about this week. You're playing the Sandusky Blue Streaks. They're having a down year this year. They're at 1-6. But like you said, they're definitely not a team that you need to sleep on and overlook. They're a big team, Division II. You know, they play formidable opponents every year. And they're definitely, you know, even though they're 1-6, they're probably thinking, okay, we can beat this Division IV team.
That is correct, because if you look at their schedule's about as tough as ours, comparatively speaking, and they play even bigger than we do. I hate to say this, but I've watched every single game they've played this year a number of times. You're playing Amherst, you're playing you're playing Lorraine, you're playing Fremont Ross, you're playing the good of the good. Yeah. And you played Perkins last week. I mean, you have played some very, very good opponents and came up short in some games. They played Tiffin to a 21-16 game. I mean, just they are not a bad football team. They make some errors here and there on special teams. They make some errors as far as snapping-wise goes. But they have some dynamic athletes. The Ship kid, too, in the slot is about as good as we have seen. Their quarterback, the Johnson kid, makes people miss, will extend plays. They are very aggressive on both sides of the ball. They're big up front. So it is by far not going to be a night where we're just like, oh, let's just get to half and we can play, guys. It's going to be a 4-quarter battle, and we're going to be fortunate if we're in it in the fourth quarter.
Well, Coach, talking with head coach Ryan Carter of the Clyde Flyers. Coach, what do you need to do offensively to get the win over Sandusky
I
this
think
week?
One of the huge keys is hanging on to the football. We did that last week against Edison, and we hadn't did that up to that point. You throw interceptions, you fumble, you make mistakes on special teams, which I consider turnovers. You're going to lose. I don't care who you're playing. So I think a huge part of this game is hanging on to the football and extending drives, continuing to leave your offense on the field and keep their playmakers on the sidelines.
And then on the flip side of that, defensively, how are you going to stop the unbridled athleticism of the Sandusky Blue Streaks?
Same type of thing. I mean, you got to get off the field when they give you opportunities to get off the field. When they have a 3rd and long, a 4th and long, and they're going for it, you got to get off the field and get your offense back out there. And teams have struggled with that against them. We have struggled with that against them in the past. They beat us the last 2 years, honestly, on the last play of the game, and most of them have came down to 3rd and 4th downs in 10, 15, 20 yards, and they pick those up and continue drives. So if you're going to try to beat them, you can't do that.
Well, I think last year it was a very, very close game. I think it was a 1-point game, right?
22-21. They scored on the last play of the game. Literally 2 seconds left. They snapped it, kind of ran around, threw it up for grabs. The kid made a nice play in the end zone. So, and that's been basically 2 years in a row for us to lose to them. So it's been a tough road for us with them. Their athleticism has hurt us. So we're hoping we can turn that around this year.
You guys been practicing the prevent defense a lot this week?
We have been practicing everything that they throw at us. But, yeah, that's one of them.
One final question for head coach of the Clyde Flyers, Ryan Carter. Coach, as I said last week, it seemed like you guys had finally clicked. Everything was looking in sync as it's supposed to at week 7. And you said you had a similar, well, my question is, did you have a similar week of practice this week as you did last week? Is it all looking like it should be the same this week against Sandusky?
We did. I think our week of prep has been pretty good. We've had a few guys get off the injured reserve, so they're back. Now we got a few others that were ailing a little bit from the Edison game that we're not sure on yet. But going into this week, I feel like we're progressing and we're moving in the right direction. So my hope is that pans out on Friday night.
All right, thank you so much, head coach of the Clyde Flyers, Ryan Carter, for joining you. Good luck against Sandusky this Friday night. Kyle Knight and myself will be there on 92.1 The Wolf WOHF. Catch all the action there. 6:30 pregame, 7 o'clock tip-off. Thank you so much, Coach,
Thank
for
you
being
guys
with
very
me
much.
tonight.
Much appreciated.
Stick around to WFRRadio.com, Eagle 99.1 FM, and YouTube. Next, I'm going to be talking with Coach Chad Long about those Ross Little Giants. Keep it here. Yeah, we got Woodmore couldn't be here till later, so we're actually having you on second to last. To Frickers and Fremont, it's the Eagle 99 High School Football Coaches Show. Live from the Fremont Frickers. Reminder, it's $9.99 steak night. Get yourself a steak dinner, side salad, roll, drink, all for $9.99. Kids always eat free, of course, here at Frickers. And joining me now, head coach of the Fremont Ross Little Giants, Chad Long. Chad, thank you so much for being here again this week. And, well, you guys won a close one against Sylvania Southview this past week. From what I heard from Mr. John Kearns, it was quite a flag fest.
Oh, it typically is, and we don't even know what it's about.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's 2 years in a row we've had to play there, and it's the same thing every time we go there.
Well, I don't know if you ever got back to him on it, but unofficially, I believe you guys had 11 sacks
Yeah.
last game.
Yeah, we did.
Is that a school record?
Can't find anything, and I have the the record books, and I don't know. With all the great teams that's been through Fremont, I couldn't imagine that would be.
Yeah.
But I would say it would probably be up there. But there is no records in general that indicate that we have a record or anything like that.
Well,
But it was a good second half.
yeah, my question to you was your defense obviously dominated this game, able to hold them to 13 points, and you guys were able to escape with the win. What did they do to really keep the pressure on Sylvania and not allow them to get in the end zone?
Second half wise, and it was just a big play that set them up for their first touchdown, on which Southview scored. But second half, our D line just came out relentless. Marquez had 4.5 sacks in the second half. Talon Brown had, I think, 2.5. Noah Crawford, who is typically he plays on Saturdays, but we've been using him the last 2 weeks, and it's hard to get the kid off the field. He gives us so much effort, and he's so fast. He's undersized, but he does a really good job. And obviously, Cole Myers anchors that line.
Oh, yeah.
And Coach Hardy from Southview said, I think BCSN missed out on the opportunity when he texted me that Friday night and said that Cole Myers is by far the best player in the conference.
Wow.
And what he did both sides of the ball, he said he should be player of the year
Wow.
for our conference. That's how highly that coach thought of, Cole.
Who'd BCSN pick?
Well, Stephen Ryder. He
Oh,
had,
yeah, well, yeah.
he obviously had
Yeah.
a really good game too, but coach thinks otherwise. But I think Stephen Ryder played outstanding, made a lot of catches, and turned on the Jets a lot.
Well, let's talk about your offensive stats. Something I want to bring up. The last time that I did a coach's show, it was after your loss to Finley. It was a 42 to nothing loss.
Yeah.
And I asked you, well, you got beat pretty bad, but what are some positives that you can take away from something like this? Was there a good play that you saw or something? And you said nothing. You said there's nothing positive that we can take away from this.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to be honest with you. Well, now you got back-to-back wins after that loss.
Yeah.
What are the positives you've seen over the past few weeks?
I'm going to be honest. I think Braylon's completion percentage at quarterback is really, really high. I think he was at like a 72%, 72 point something percent completion against Southview, and he was, I think, like 80% against Scott. He's doing a really good job reading what the defense gives you, not throwing no turnovers. Okay, so he's doing a good job not throwing any interceptions. He has none in the last 2 games. He's just managing the game well and hitting open receivers. Jackson Mackey has really stepped it up the last 2 weeks at tight end, which we assumed he would be a big factor of our offense. And Stephen Ryder, you get the ball in his hands, he can make a lot of things happen, and I think Braylon's realizing that, and Stephen's doing a good job.
Well, he certainly is doing a good job. He had 6 catches this past week. He had over 100 yards, 128 yards in the air, and 2 touchdowns receiving. He averaged 21.3 yards per reception. He had a 71-yard touchdown pass or touchdown catch as well. So, what's the advantage of having a guy that now? And you said Braylon finally figured out get the ball in this guy's hands.
Yeah.
What's the advantage of having a guy like that you can send deep and can make a big play for you when you need
Well, they ain't deep, though. They're
Yeah.
short routes, and we all know Steven's probably the fastest kid on the field always on a Friday night.
Mhm.
I mean, when you run in track, he's a track kid.
to? Yeah.
When you can run a 10-8-7 100-yard dash.
My goodness.
That's
my 40 time, I think.
And a lot of times your track athletes are not football fast,
Yeah.
but they're fast track athletes.
Yeah.
This kid has a wiggle.
Yeah.
He's quick and fast.
Yeah.
Which makes for a dangerous player. I mean, he is dangerous. And Braylon's figuring that out. And it's taking a lot of pressure off of them trying to key on Mason England, taking a lot of pressure off of them trying to key on Jackson Mackey. And now you got to deal with this we call him the Tasmanian guy that just runs around
Yeah.
and just goes.
Yeah.
Good luck trying to guard him. So I could see in the future them trying to high-low him, which is great because then now we can stretch the field along with Mason, or we go to Mackey on the outs, the unders, and things like that. So it's a good tangible knowing that we can still run the ball, and we have 3 really good receivers to throw to.
Well, we've talked about your receiving core and your quarterback. I'm sure you could talk about those guys all
Yeah.
night. But how about an unsung hero of this team so far this season has been Talon Brown. He had 72 yards on the night last week. He wasn't able to get in the end zone, but he's consistently giving you 70 to 85 yards every week. Just
Yeah,
throwing them down.
I still believe he's the best back in the conference. Still not 100%. Still dealing with an ankle injury
Yeah.
from Perrysburg. So, honestly, we didn't use him really. I don't think we used him at all against Whitmer. And against Finley, he was still not 100%. I
Yeah.
think he only had a couple carries. So now we're starting by being smart with him and keeping him off the offense of them twisting ankles and stuff like that. You can see him improving week to week of getting healthy. And when he's healthy, he can run the ball really, really well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's smart on Coach Severs keeping him out, even though he's our best running back. But it's long haul that we look at of, let's wait until the end of the year.
Well, you said Talon Brown's coming back. He's getting better and better every week off his injury. You've won 2 in a row. And now you're getting into a part of your schedule for these last 3 weeks. It's certainly not easy games
Yeah.
on your schedule, but it's certainly not Perrysburg, Whitmer, Findlay difficult. So now that you've got Braylon Garza getting more confidence and doing better, your receivers clicking with him more, Talon Brown picking up the load a little bit more, you have a lot more confidence that you can maybe run the table here in these last 3 weeks and get yourself a playoff spot?
Well, I mean, honestly, I'm only worried about being 5-3.
Yeah.
I don't look ahead and anything like that. We're playing teams that are our size, and that's all I can say is these are teams we should be beating.
Yeah.
It's always going to be hard to beat the big 3, but I believed we could have,
Yes.
and we didn't.
Well, talking with Ryan Lozier, he said if you walk into a stadium thinking, we're not going to win, you've already decided right there. You got to believe that you need to win.
Yeah, and it's not that our kids didn't believe. We just, we kill ourselves too much from time to time, and we had our opportunities in all our games, and unfortunately, our record is what it is right now, being 4-3.
I want to talk to you about the past couple of weeks in practice, over these past couple of weeks. You guys had problems at the beginning of the season with penalty flags, and I know last week was a big problem, but it's Southview. That's all I'm going to say about that. But have you seen your guys playing a much cleaner game these past few weeks? Than
We've
they
been
have?
on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been on them. I mean, we've been on them all year, and we're not going to fault the kids for their effort.
Yeah.
Okay, that is what it is, and some people see it as holding, and some officials see it as holding, and some people don't. When you pancake a kid, that's not holding.
Yeah.
That's dominance.
Oh, no, I agree.
And we got called on that as well, in half. It is what it is. It's not like we say, hey, guys, go out there and hold. No, we don't do that.
Yeah.
We emphasize, let's play clean football. Let's play with no penalties. And unfortunately, we get hit from time to time. I'm not going to fault kids with their effort and stuff.
Right.
I do not see us having a harp on our kids. They know if they're outside the box and they get called on it, but they're kids.
Yeah.
As long as they're playing and just not letting a kid run through.
Right.
I'd rather a kid hold if that's the case than to have our quarterback get killed. So, it's something we have emphasized from day one, week one. And, we kill ourselves, and this is what we got to do to get better. Clean up, move our feet, engage, and stay inside the frame.
I had a coach growing up. He always told me, he said, I'll never punish you I'll never yell at you for trying too hard and getting a penalty thrown on you. But if you don't know your assignment and you let somebody through, that's when I'll yell at you.
Yep.
And let me tell you, he was lying. He yelled at me either way. Let's talk about real quick your game coming up this week. It's going to be at Springfield. John Kearns will be at Springfield bringing you all that action. Pregame 6:30, kickoff 7, right here on Eagle 99. What do you guys need to do offensively to bring home a W this Friday night?
Well, I mean, we got to beat man coverage. They're going to be in a lot of man coverage. They'll be in a 30 and a 40 front, and we assume they're going to probably bring pressure and play man coverage. We got to win the one-on-one battles, for our passing game. And our running game will be fine running the football. I think defensively, they're very comparable. When you look at Springfield, they're a lot like us.
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot of really good athletes at the skill position. They have more playing both ways than what we do, but they're really, really talented at the receiver and even at the running back and even at the quarterback. The quarterback is like our quarterback. He's our punter.
Yeah.
But this quarterback is their kicker.
Wow.
He kicks off, puts it in the end zone. He plays kicks. He plays linebacker, sometimes safety as well. So I mean,
it tells you how athletic he is.
He's just a good kid.
Yeah.
And he's 6'2", 195, and he's a good ball player.
Yeah.
And he has a lot of really good skill. And we got to make sure those guys up front, our front seven, get pressure on the quarterback, which we will. And we cannot give up big plays in order to beat them.
Well, we wish you the best of luck,
Thank
Coach,
you.
against Springfield this week. Again, John Kearns will bring you all that action here on Eagle 99. Pregame 6:30, Kickoff at 7 o'clock. This is Chad Long, head coach of the Ross Little Giants. He talked with us about his win at Sylvania Southview this past week and his hopefully upcoming win against Springfield this week. Stick around and stay tuned here to Eagle 99.1 FM, WFROradio.com, and YouTube. Next, it's Woodmore Wildcat Night. We'll be talking with head coach Scott Staker and a few of his players. Keep it right here on Eagle 99. And welcome back into Frickers on Wednesday night. It's the Eagle 99 High School Football Coaches Show. And remember, it's $9.99 steak night here at Frickers. Make sure you come on down here, get yourself a steak dinner, roll, side salad, and drink, all for $9.99. And, of course, kids eat free. Join me now, head coach of the Woodmore Wildcats, Scott Staker. It is Woodmore Wildcat night. We got some players here, and we're going to talk with them in just a little bit. But first, I want to talk with you, Coach. You're coming off a tight loss versus Gibsonburg last week. You lost by a final score of 14-6, and Gibsonburg is a tough team, and to hold them to 14 points is impressive because they've got Smith, who is a ridiculously good running back, just like his brother, and before that you also lost to Margaretta. So losses coming off two tough teams. How do you guys get off the schneid, get back in the win column this week against Northwood?
Well, I think last week, I think more than Gibson being a good team, which they are, I think for the most part we know as a team that we made a lot of mistakes, and some on the mental side too. But we gave that game away.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. I mean,
Yeah.
we had that, and Landon Rich is as good a back or better than the Smith kid. And all our kids here, too, played their hearts out. So we had our opportunities. We just made some crucial mistakes at key times, and it in the end cost us. But you know what? That's the learning process of, changing the culture, trying to get to a place that, they haven't been, and then in a year and a half trying to change, some things, some habits, or getting to those situations that you've never been in before under pressure. And, haven't seen that before. But overall, I think they did a tremendous job. And getting off of that, we got bounced back this week against Northwood. And, we have a great opportunity to do that.
Well, this week at practice, did the kids, do they know that they gave the game away? And have you seen more of a fire in them this week to be more mentally sharp and maybe play, as hard as they can and make sure not to make those same mistakes again this week?
Yeah, we've had we've had a really, really good practice week, and more focused on team things and camaraderie things and building up what we've been doing all year, but also going over plays, going on two a lot today. We jumped a couple times, so just trying to build that mental toughness. But yeah, it's been a really good week of practice. I think we've prepared well defensively and offensively this week. So just got to come out and just get back and play new Woodmore football the way we've been playing.
Mm-hmm. Well, Coach, you're probably going to give me the same answer every other coach has given me tonight, but I got to bring it up. It is week 8 now.
Yep.
We're talking about playoffs. Right now, if the playoffs were to start today, you're sitting at 9th, so you would get into the playoffs. What do you guys think you have to do to either maintain or improve, possibly maybe get a home game in that first or in the first 8, and then in the first 4 you get a bye, correct, with the new rules this year? What do you guys need to do to maybe you got tough teams, and Northwood, Calvert, and Hopewell Loudon are 3 teams that are tough to play.
Right.
And what do you guys need to do to show up, show out, run the table, and get yourself a better seed?
I'm going to say eliminate mistakes.
Yeah.
Obviously, probably the other one said win. But eliminate mistakes, stay healthy, and capitalize on their mistakes if that's done. And you never know. Like this week sounds like a good weather week.
Yeah.
But, we're built for later in the year as far as running the ball, time of possession. We need those things to happen to give us a chance and to win games down the road, even playoff games. So we're expecting to do that since we've been there last year. So we've been there, kind of done that, but we want to do it again. So that is fueling them as far as a hunger and a thirst to get into the playoffs, and that was one of our goals, and also get a home playoff win. So we got our backs against the wall, but I think they're responding really well this week to that challenge.
Talking with head coach Scott Staker of the Woodmore Wildcats. It's Woodmore night. We'll be having a few players coming on here in just a little bit. Couple final questions for you, Coach. Getting more specific, we just asked you what it would be like, what you need to do to run the table and win the last 3 games. What do you got to do to win on Friday against Northwood?
Stop the dive. Stop the option. Ken James is a super good coach, Hall of Fame coach, and has been around for a long time and run the option in every shape, form imaginable. So we've worked really hard this week to stop the option. And in that part, too, when we get the opportunities to bust a big play, we got to score quickly so that we can jump out ahead, so that we don't give them a chance to chunk the ball and have long possessions and time of possession drives. So we've got to start fast and finish faster.
Well, you say stop the dive. How much work is your defensive lineman getting in this week? I'm sure you've maybe keyed defensive end on stopping the quarterback, and the tackle go for the dive man every time.
Yep.
I'm sure they're getting a lot of work in this week on keeping that at the line of scrimmage. Have you liked what you've seen so far?
So far, so good. Yep, so far, so good. We started off on a learning curve on Monday, but each day we've gotten better and better. So hopefully tomorrow we've got another day to prepare, and that's why Army Navy does it. They're so disciplined, and that's why teams even like Ohio State play against them, and it's tough to defend because you got to stay disciplined every play.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for joining me here tonight. As much as I love talking to you, let's talk to some players.
I'd love to. I want to hear them talk.
I'm sure the coaches love when the players get on. All right, guys, who's first?
Landon Rich. That's
Landon
good.
Rich is coming up first. Landon Rich, running back for the Wildcats. He is a senior this year. Yeah. Landon, thanks so much for being with me.
Of course.
Here tonight. So, Landon, your stats speak for themselves. I mean, you're already over 1,000 yards on the season. You've got 144 carries this year, 1,120 yards on the year with 20 touchdowns. Now, I don't have to look at any other stats to know that you're up there on the leaderboard for the most so far this year. What do you contribute to your success so far this season?
We got Ryan over here. He blocks really hard for me. Like Coach Staker puts in a good game plan, which allows us to run the ball well. So I think that's just what helps is guys around me do a good job.
Landon, you're a senior this year. Something I ask all the seniors that come on my show is, what do you do to lead this team in the locker room? I'm sure you guys all lead by example. What do you
Yeah.
like to show the younger guys that Woodmore football is all about?
Well, I mean, like I try not to yell at people a lot because like when people get yelled at, it's just like they go down. So if I just try and stay positive with them, I feel like that just gets it a long way.
I'd like to hear that because there were always some kids when I was in high school that yelled at you when you were doing something wrong. I always thought it's the coach's job to get on you and yell at you. It's your teammate's job to pick you up. So I like to hear that. Again, we're talking with Landon Rich, running back for the Woodmore Wildcats. You're not just a running back, though, are you, Landon? You are also a linebacker. You got 26 tackles and 1 sack on the season. Do you like defense? Are you a thumper, or are you more of an offensive guy?
Well, I mean, I like offense more, but I like them both. I like to go down and make tackles. I mean, it's pretty fun to hit people hard too. On both sides of the ball. So.
Yeah, but it's more fun to get in the end zone.
Yeah, that's pretty fun.
That's what every running back that's
Yeah.
got 20 touchdowns on the year will tell you they like defense or offense more than defense. All right, Landon. Well, last question here for you. Something I ask all the seniors that come on the show. Do you have any plans for next fall, or are you still working it out?
Well, I plan on playing football in college, but I'm not quite sure yet. But I plan on it.
Yeah. Do you have any leads on to where you might be playing football at, or are you getting recruited by anybody? I mean, 20 touchdowns, over 1,000 yards, not even through the whole season yet. I'm sure there's someone who's contacting you via the mail or email or something.
Yeah, I plan on playing at BG, but anything could change up. So.
It's a great school to play for. I graduated
Eddie
from
George.
BG. Eddie George,
Yeah,
that's right. That'd be
exactly.
awesome. God, wouldn't that be a trip, man? That's awesome. All right, Landon, thank you so much for joining me here tonight. And
thank
before you go, shout out anybody you'd like to shout out. We're live on YouTube right now.
Yeah, I don't got no one to shout out. I ain't gonna lie. I don't got
Can
no-
I get?
my
Can I
mom,
give you a suggestion?
Yeah.
You got to shout out your offensive line or your 1,000-yard back.
My offensive line, yeah, man, they be going crazy. Plus my mom, I love my mom.
There you go. Yeah, and you can't go wrong with the offensive line and your mom.
That's
Great
what's
job, Landon. All right, go ahead. Send me the next one.
Yep.
Who do we got coming up next? Get your name.
Michael.
All right, next up we have Michael Seeger. Michael, thank you so much for joining me here on the show. Michael, let me find my roster here. Sorry about this. Michael, you are the quarterback for the Woodmore Wildcats.
I play tight end.
Oh, you do? Oh,
Yeah.
it says on my roster here that you're a QB. Did they
play-
switch you?
I was QB sophomore year.
Were you? Wow, this must be. It says 2025. I got it off your school's website, so you got someone to talk to. But you have 9 catches for 163 yards and 4 touchdowns this season, and you average 23 yards a game receiving, but you also average 18 yards per reception. Michael, what do you tribute your success to this season so far?
Just everyone playing hard. We play hard every play, and it's definitely helped us get better, win more games.
And Michael, you're also on the defensive side of the ball. You lead the team in tackles with 37. Are you a thumper? Do you like to get hit kids and you like to get them on the ground?
Yeah, I say I like defense more. I just like the physicality.
And are you a linebacker?
Safety.
You're a safety. Okay. Your safety leading your team in tackles usually isn't a good thing, but you guys are doing pretty well this season at 5-2. So if it
Yeah.
ain't broke, don't fix it. Do you guys send a lot of blitzes or something? Is that how you're able
Yeah,
to?
I'd say we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You send a lot of blitzes. That's how you're able to make so many tackles. Well, again, talking with Michael Seeger. Michael, you're one of the guys on this team that you have a unique kind of experience this year. Well, you had it last year as well, but your little brother, I believe, is on the team. What's it like playing football against your little brother every week of practice?
It's cool. It's a cool experience because, like, you get to talk about football just not when you're at practice, but at home. So,
Yeah. Have you hit him yet? Have you been able? Has he been on scout team?
Yeah,
Have
a
you been
couple
able
of
to-
times,
Yeah.
couple times.
How good does that feel?
Pretty good.
That's
Yeah.
something I never got to experience. I got 2 younger brothers. They were both too young for me to play against them. I always wanted to hit them, but that's I did at home. So again, talking with Michael Seeger of the Woodmore Wildcats. Michael, final question: do you have any plans for next fall?
Next fall, I'm gonna play college baseball.
College, where at?
I haven't decided on school yet.
Okay. You got a couple in mind?
Yep.
Yeah, well, very nice. Good for you, Michael. And before you go ahead and shout anybody out that you'd like to shout out.
Shout out my parents and shout out the Whitmore football team.
Yeah. All right. Not shouting out the younger brother. That is awesome. Classic older brother move. Thank you so much, Michael. You can send in the next guy. Who's my next victim here? Calvin Lipstraw. Calvin, thank you so much for joining me. Reminder, it's Woodmore Wildcat Night here at Eagle 99 and Frickers. You can watch us live on YouTube. Just search Eagle 99 WFRO or go to our Facebook page and click on the link. Talking now with Calvin Lipstraw. Calvin, you are the quarterback,
Yes,
correct?
sir. Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. Yeah, we got 2 QBs listed here. And this season, you're having a pretty good year this year. And you're 46-78. You got almost 1,000 yards passing on the year. You got 9 touchdowns to only 3 interceptions. Your 59% completion rating. It's going pretty well for you so far. What do you contribute your success to this year?
Yeah, I mean, it's going pretty well so far. I appreciate Wesley Kaiser. I mean, he's my favorite receiver, and we've been putting a lot of work on the offseason, trying to get better and build up the chemistry. So, yeah.
Well, you can obviously see on the field that your off-season work is paying off. One thing I do want to mention before we move on here, Josh, I want you to blur out his sweatshirt. We don't have curse words on our show, and just a little bit of fun here with Calvin. Calvin, how do you lead by example in the locker room for these young guys? Show them what Woodmore football is all about.
Yeah, so I try to be as positive as possible. I don't think it really helps the younger guys when everybody's yelling at them, and I think it gets their hopes down, and everybody else gets negative. So I try to stay positive and make sure everybody is in a good mood going out to practice and games.
And Calvin, you're a junior this year, correct?
Yes.
And so what do you hope to learn this year and put into next year when you are the biggest leader of the team, the senior quarterback?
I mean, I still have lots to learn. I think I do need to be a better leader, and I need to be more calm with myself, more confident. I think that's a big thing I need to work on, just confidence.
Well, I have no doubt that you will gain that confidence and you'll be a great leader next season. I'm sure you already are, and you just don't know it. A humble kid. I like to hear that. All right, Calvin, one final thing. You want to shout anybody out, look into the camera, and say hey to somebody?
Yeah, shout out my mom, my dad, my sisters, and Wesley Kaiser.
All right, thanks, Calvin. I'm surprised you guys don't have any girlfriends you're shouting now. That's crazy. But send me the next one in. Who do we got up next? I believe we were down to – well, we might be down to 3. No, we should be down to 2. Should be down to Ryan and Cole. So
Cole.
All right. Cole Potridge. And again, I haven't seen you guys play anyway this year, but even if I did, I wouldn't be able to see your face because of the helmets. So it doesn't really matter. Cole Potridge is joining me now. Cole, thank you so much for being with me here tonight. Cole, it says right here you're a tight end and a linebacker here for the Wildcats. This year, your stats on the year, you have 15 rushing attempts for 83 yards, and you also have 2 catches for 9 yards. So not a bad season so far for you this year, but you're also on defense. You got 20 tackles this season. What do you contribute your success to this year?
Definitely my coaches and my teammates pushed me during practice and stuff. It really pushed me hard, and that builds my confidence up and helps me push through hard times of the game.
Well, Cole, I'm going to ask you what I asked everybody else. I know you're only a junior on the team, but what type of example do you like to set for the young guys and show them what it means to be a Woodmore Wildcat?
Definitely a positive example for the younger kids so they can keep pushing that up through their high school years and pushing that experience down to the next kids that come up to high school. So we like to keep it positive, not much negative. And if you mess up, it's fine. Move on.
Yeah.
Forget about it.
Well, that's a great example to set. Again, you're a junior as well, so what's something you want to take from this year into next year, your senior season?
Definitely I don't know how to say it.
Experience?
Yeah, definitely the experience of being of a winning team.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's really fun.
Yeah, well, you guys have had some down years in the past, and now you're looking good this season, and you don't want to forget about it, and you want to replicate it next year. Is that what you're trying to say, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
All right. Well, again, all right, man. You can go ahead and look into the camera, shout out anybody you want to shout out.
Definitely want to shout out my parents and my little brother and my older brother. He's at college right now.
All right, thank you so
Thank you,
much.
sir.
That was Cole Potridge. And coming up, last but not least, Ryan Maynard. Ryan, thanks for being with me here tonight. Ryan, you might remember, because of the hair, obviously, I covered a couple of Woodmore basketball games last season. And were you varsity last year for basketball, or were you JV?
I was a mix.
You were a mix. I remember. Yeah, I do remember that now. Not only do I remember the hair from basketball, but I really, really liked the way that you played. I thought you played really hard. You crashed the glass really well, and I assume you bring that same intensity to football. And so, what do you contribute your success to this season?
Well, I mean, the coaches for helping us learn what we need to learn, and then just everyone else on the team doing their job and just doing their job so we can succeed, I guess. I don't know.
So, are you D tackle or D end on the D line?
I'm a D tackle, but I can play both.
You can play both, right? So you're number 66. You got 24 tackles on the year, and I talked with Coach about this earlier. Are you attacking the quarterback or dive man this week?
Dive.
Dive
Every time.
That was one of my favorite assignments when I was a defensive tackle. Is you don't have to worry about reading your block or doing anything. Just go after the dive man all week. Are you having fun with it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Talking with Ryan Maynard of the Woodmore Wildcats. Ryan, it's good to have you on the show. You are a senior this year. You got any plans for next fall?
No.
No, not yet. Just figuring it out still. Well, there's
Yep.
nothing wrong with that. You got plenty of time to figure it out. Again, Ryan, thanks so much for being with me here tonight. One final question for you. As a senior on this team, what are you doing to lead by example for the younger guys?
I can be a vocal leader at some points, and then I more lead by example. Just do my assignment, help them out. Like the younger guys, teach them what to do, and if they have any questions, I just tell them to ask me.
Yeah, I can definitely see you being that way. I like the way you played basketball last year from the moment I saw you playing physical down there on the glass, and I have no doubt you're the same way during football. All right, Ryan, say hi to whoever you want to in the camera.
I like to say hi to my mom and dad, the football team, and Bailey Genderzak.
Oh, finally. Is that a girlfriend?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
That's our son.
Oh, that's your center?
Yeah.
I got my bad, Bailey. That's gonna get clipped, I'm sure, by one of these kids, and that's gonna be shown. Sorry about that, Bailey.
He
Bailey can be a boy's or a girl's name.
He
I
can
don't
act
know.
like a girl sometimes too.
Can he? Well, shout out Bailey, and I apologize for making you a joke around school because I know that's gonna go around. All right, thanks so much, Ryan. Thank you to all you guys tonight. You did a fantastic job, everyone. Coach, thanks for bringing them by. And thank you for listening and tuning in on Eagle 99.1 FM, WFROradio.com, and our YouTube live at Eagle 99 WFRO. My name is Nick Roth. This has been the High School Football Coaches Show live from the Fremont Frickers. Remember, it's $9.99 steak night. You still got time to bring down the kids. They eat for free. Get yourself a steak, dinner roll, side salad, and drink, all for $9.99. This is Nick Roth for Josh Frederick, our video guy, and for our board op, Aiden Klein, saying good night, and we'll talk to you Friday from Springfield here on Eagle 99 WFRO.